Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our final map at WESG EU and CIS finals. It is going the distance. It's going to be Team Ukraine versus GODSENT. Ukraine have managed to make their comeback on this second map of Overpass and now take things over to Inferno to try and close it down.
Yeah, it's been an amazing series thus far. GODSENT, of course, winning out Mirage. It looked like it was going to be one-sided and that it could have all ended on Overpass. But Team Ukraine, they are able to come back, bring things from what looked like it could have been a bit of a crushing defeat and then win that map out. Now we're going to be heading through to Inferno, which is going to be the great equalizer in which one of these two teams will be crowned the winner of this event and take home $40,000 in prize money as well as seeding. That'll put them in a fairly favorable position for the $1.5 million prize pool event coming up next year.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. I have to say, I'm very excited to see who's actually going to perform because it is quite far down the line. Many things could have happened, many things could have changed by then. Of course, for a lot of the teams last year, we actually saw quite a few roster changes just based on other tournaments, but this time it is not near the major, so hopefully that will not be the case. And we do seem to have quite a lot of competition. I think teams like Belgium will have a lot of chance to sort of upset. The French teams have done quite well, Limitless being a bit of a surprise package that managed to make it through to the LAN finals as well. And yeah, just quite a lot of diversity overall. Of course, these two teams, not necessarily the ones that we expected to get through to the grand final. In fact, if you even look at the third and fourth place match with Space Soldiers and Fnatic, two sort of well-known practice teams not making it here, it really does show just how competitive and how well both of these teams have done.
Yeah, and you know, there's only enough room for one of these guys to be crowned the winner though, Tom. That's what they're going to be competing for. $40,000 is a nice little bonus, obviously. But 4 days, 20 teams, and now a decent bit on the line for these guys. $40,000 in prize money, as we said, and seeding at the $1.5 million prize pool event. It all comes down to this. Map number 3 is about to get underway. Knife round side to side, and here, well, it's more important than ever. It will be Team Ukraine that get the pick. And that's going to be an early advantage going their way.
Yeah, likely to see them start over on that CT side of the map. And, well, I'm wondering if we're going to get a repeat of Overpass, where the first few rounds of this really do just become an absolute battle for who can dominate economy, because neither of these teams has really been particularly good in these anti-eco rounds. It has been the pistols that have been so powerful. And if you look at sort of both maps, there have been sort of points where maybe a CZ or a Deagle has actually molded how this game will go. So definitely looking forward to the start of this one and who will take the pistol and whether they can get those follow-up rounds, because they are so valuable at building into that economy. Of course, for the CT side especially, I feel on Inferno, it is so much more important to make sure you get that pistol. Utility plays such a big part. We've seen multiple teams sort of looking to section off, but here we go. Straight into our pistol round. Simple is about to be bombarded by Glocks, and already he'll lose his life. In fact, Twist will find 2 to start, leaving just 1 man to defend this site. It will be Zeus to go down to Twist as well, who's managed to find 3 already.
Edward going to be doing what he can to keep Team Ukraine in this pistol round. It falls to him and Bondik. Bondik trapped on the other side of that smoke. Means Edward is here alone for the time being. Starting to edge on in. Bondik has gone down. Edward finds himself locked in the 1v4. Time working against him here, and actually Twist going to go aggressive once the ace goes charging in. Will get denied the ace by Edward. The pit is there to trade, and GODSENT, they're going to be there to pick themselves up the pistol around here on the T side.
Yeah, great round coming out from Twist in particular. Just sheer aggression over towards that banana spot. And, well, he has almost single-handedly won the round for his team. We will see the force buy back in. As said, the CZs have been pretty deadly so far. And Simple, he is actually going to buy up the Kevlar and the smoke. So 5 smokes actually for Team Ukraine. Of course, on a map like Inferno, even just having a few to sort of slow things down early on can be quite painful for a team when they want to build up into one of these rounds. 3 players will be over towards this B side of the map. Of course, because of the amount of smokes that they currently have, and the one actually thrown in by the T's to help them out to start, they can actually hold off this defense for quite a while. csgo is looking to sort of push things forward. The T's do have themselves 3 SMGs alongside the couple of AKs as well. Made a lot of early noise, early presence over towards this banana, but as said, there's going to be plenty of smokes to just try and hold them back. Both Edward and Simple now remain on this site, and the man who did throw down his previous smoke will just look to rotate away. Another 15 seconds or so will be burnt down, although the T's look like they may just be willing to try and run straight through it. Edward will be able to get one, but he's very quickly overwhelmed, and Simple is not going to be able to do too much through this smoke. The rotation will be coming in for the remaining players, one down through the banana. But you have to remember, the CT side at this point in time, they do not have a kit.
Time ticking down here in Team Ukraine. Oh, gonna go ahead and lose Bondik. Swift one tap there from Pitt. Instead now turn their attention to try and land some damage on the exits. Zeus does get one, but that's it for him. GODSENT gonna go ahead and group up, head down banana. Markelov and Simple are allowed to save into the next round, but that will be a second round for GODSENT, as 3 players carrying these weapons forward into the next round.
A little bit of damage done, and the same will be looking to be done in this one from Ukraine, but we have actually seen a team convert their second round. Extra SMG bought up from Freddie B, as he will be looking to farm up a little bit of extra cash, and we'll be interested to see if they do keep these into the next round. There are a lot of sort of potential fast plays, especially when utility is at a minimum early in the map, where you can just sort of run straight up banana because you're not worried about those HEs, those incendiaries. Once again, there will be a smoke. Docthlin looking to just pre-fire through it, and the nade will dunk straight onto Zeus and take him clean out of this round. Freddie B is going to look to try and do the same over towards the A side of the map. Won't find anything, but he has wrapped back around. This leaves Edward absolutely screwed. There should be absolutely nothing he can do in this scenario. In fact, I do wonder if the remaining players will just look to try and steal a weapon away. Pitt is actually going to be caught, and that's one of the only 2 AKs that were currently in play for the T side, so that's already a big win. Bomb, of course, going down on the B side. There isn't any chance of Ukraine actually winning the round, and Edward will eventually go down. I'm hoping we will just see Simple save this weapon, looking to try and get another off the back of Freddie B, but that is only a Mach 10, nowhere near the level of value of the one that Simple currently holds.
Yeah, the twist is coming their way, and he's here alone, no one there to trade. If he goes down to Simple, that's both rifles taken out of this round. Luckily enough, he is quick on the trigger. Now it's just Markelov left. Man with the Mac will go ahead and get dropped. GODSENT 3-0. Banana buy comes in from Team Ukraine. GODSENT, they've had an easy time of it the first 3 rounds, the first 2 rounds on the back of the pistol. Now the buy comes in from the Ukrainian side. 3 rifles in play, 3 M4s rather. FAMAS up for Edward and UMP for Zeus. He can fill the extra utility as a result, has the kit as well.
Yeah, the FAMAS mainly there just for that same purpose. We'll still have 1 UMP, but we did see an upgrade from GODSENT. Still playing this one fairly safe in their so-called bonus round, although not really that much of a bonus anymore. Look at this already. Edward using that deep utility just so they can stack over towards this A side, but it's going to be a quick play coming out from the T side, wrapping round Arch side. Hampus leading the charge, already takes down 1. A second as Simple will fall, and now Zeus is left to try and hold on to this site. Bondik is still here and actually gets 2. He's turned this into a possible scenario. Twist trying to go above him, will be able to execute the man on site, but at least he's given Edward some time to rotate and a chance in this round.
Edward, damage done to Twist, but he's going to get tagged low. Changes up his position over here to short. Save going to be called in. Doesn't want to go for this one. Does manage to get the M4, but GODSENT going to be in with the 4th round. Good start here for them on their T side.
Oh, hello. PP Bison in a grand final. Is that a first? I don't think we see the Bison much. Oh, okay. I'm guessing it was a misbuy, so Pitts has just thrown that into the dirt. Disappointment all over my face at the moment because I would have loved to see some Bison action. But we are going to have Edward with 1 rifle in this round. Saved from the previous, of course. And then the rest of the team just going to invest a bit into pistols. Simple will be saving to make sure he can have that AWP and try and change the dynamic, and that flash is just going to absolutely ruin Edward's day. He will fall. So will the rifle. Disco does get tagged pretty low, and even still, finding any weaponry here for Ukraine would be a benefit. Of course, they have enough money that in the next round they'll be comfortably able to buy, and we'll finally see a full utility for weaponry buy. However, they've gone for a complete stack gamble. There is a rifle for them to retrieve over there, of course, where their fallen comrade has died. But it looks like their gamble is likely to be completely wrong in this scenario, as every single member of the T side now push into the A site, smoking off everything, obviously clearing all of the angles properly at the same time. But there is going to be absolutely nobody here.
Yeah, bomb plant secured for GODSENT. They're going to be on to a 5th round. Team Ukraine will just look to try and save, hold on to what they can. Perhaps find some exits. Ideally, don't want to let GODSENT go flawless in this round. Lots of money building up early on this T side. Team Ukraine, this all spells bad news. Markov's been spotted over here in mid. Zeus going to go ahead and throw the M4 back to Bondik. Now looks to wrap around, gets beheaded by Pitt. Markov's trapped. Again, a full prey to twist. So it will be Simple and Bondik. Nope. Ooh, Simple just got the gun. Seconds left. And that is going to be very handy here. 2 rifles carried forward. Or board up for Simple. Just rifles across the board here on GODSENT.
Look at the money. That's a big thing. They've already built up 7 grand off a couple of players, and I'll be interested to see how the dynamic changes here. Simple actually just going to be peeking straight into middle. Sheer aggression from the AWPer on the Ukrainian side. I'm somewhat hoping we do see at one point him just, as that Catalyst player in Banani, will be spotting second mid, avoids the flash, re-peeks, but doesn't manage to find the opener. It will give positional play over towards this T side. They are setting up a decent amount of utility. Simple likely to be flashed out of position. The smoke Bondik has thrown down may not play a part, but here is Simple with that AWP only. Well, actually, no, he finds 2. Disco will eventually be able to trade. Markolov is around in the back lines as well, and a full rotation has been called from the CT side over towards this A point of the map. Twist looking to try and peek in. Should be traded the second he peeks, and Bondik will do just that, and this leaves Pith in a 1 versus 4. Again, he can at least try and make this costly, make it a little bit more difficult, but it isn't going to happen. AWP saved by Markolov. 4 players survive in Ukraine's first proper buy round. But of course, we've already mentioned, there's a lot of money to buy back up for GODSENT, and they are going to be able to invest into this next one comfortably. Although Pitt's actually going to go for a... Okay, maybe a... Did he just buy a Galil by accident? I think he did. So they're going to burn some of that money.
Accidental buys and buying the previous accidental Galil now. About 3,500 spent accidentally. Hopefully his real-life money management skills are far better. But here we go.
Needs an in-game accountant.
Gonna be boosting Zeus up here for Team Ukraine. Simple going to get boosted over the top of the wall. Nets the opening frag. Now that he's found that, they can go ahead and start to fade away. Freddie B actually going to go ahead and wallbang Zeus out of the server. Now Bondig inside of pit alone. Rotations coming in from Markelov. Bondig's able to open up. They get the information where he is. His crossfire needs to be perfect, which it is for the time being. Markelov has Bondig's back. Hampus falls to Simple, and that's the signal to save for Freddie. 16 HP, looks to try and get away. And he will be able to dart back through mid. Team Ukraine onto a second round here. GODSENT, all that money they had has been whittled down. I think by some reality they can face in this round, it will just be the case that Doppler and Twist can invest a little bit more than everyone else, but it will be an eco for the most part, partial buy.
Well, yeah, this is where that extra $3,400 could be quite nice for GODSENT, but yeah, we're actually going to have a fairly hefty investment considering. We've seen them do this before, where they'll have one player just invest quite a bit more than the rest, and that is, in fact, I think last time it was Disco as well. Peek into mid from Simple. Actually, it is going to be Banana Control. Nade not doing too much damage just yet. They do still have a decent amount of utility on the remaining players, so they are going to look to try and clear things early on. A third player has been rotated in the form of Zeus over towards this B side of the map, and, well, it looks like they have got this read absolutely spot on. Flashbang will hold them back for a little bit, and the smoke is going to be waiting. But here we go, push in. Markelov already spots one out, finds a second through the smoke as well. Freddie B does manage to trade one back, at least doing some damage, but I think that may be all for this round, although Hampus has other ideas. An AK retrieve for Freddie B as well, but Simple through the wood. We'll be able to find another. However, that bomb plant is more than successful for GODSENT. They did invest a fair bit into this round, but they at least do some damage, make $800 back, and should have enough money to buy in the next.
Team Ukraine going to be up as they start to gain on GODSENT. 3 rounds to their name. Now the buy can come in, as you said, for the Swedes. They've got the money, but now they've got to go. As they buy on up, gonna be the AWP for Twist. Picked once again, relegated down to a CZ. Twist trying to lock down mid. Simple does lie in wait, and he was very strong from this position just rounds ago. This is the shot this time. Hampus going to be thinking himself lucky he didn't go down there. In the meantime, Boost and Twist over the top. And Molotov actually allows him to find that first frag and a second. That's B cracked wide open. Simple starts to rotate around. Freddie B in the meantime deals damage in the back. Twist in the air. Simple gonna stand here alone. So it goes down for CT. GODSENT, you can see how scared of one man they are. They go ahead and rotate on offer. Bondik is already up in the apartments. Finds the frags in mid. That's going to prompt the rotate of Simple back towards his A bomb site. GODSENT, they're wrapping CT. They've bypassed Simple, at least initially. Hampus going to go running his way. Bomb on his back, goes down alone, and now Freddie B. It all falls to him. Bomb dropped to Simple's feet. Simple lands the tag. Freddie's 23 HP. Luckily enough for him, Bondik's taking a very lengthy rotation here. Simple has to buy so much time. Bondik's in position. Freddie goes down. And that is going to be Team Ukraine in with a 4th round. You have to kind of question what went on there. Why did Hampus run away from Freddie, away from his teammate, and into the warm embrace of Simple?
Yeah, a bit of a peculiar decision, but one that will cost them dearly. Also, I think you have to give props to Bondix for his positioning in that round. Okay, the rotation he went for through the B site was a bit of a lengthy one, but the peek out into apps completely changed the dynamic of that round. Oh, this is trippy as hell.
I don't even know, we were just in the aether. The ether.
Inception. Either way, Simple once again, peeking into mid, finds that early frag. Banana Control has completely gone the way of the CT side, who will be pushing all the way down to the bottom and can probably gamble a second player back, which is exactly what will be done. Markelov now going to go over towards that A site. Smokes will be raining in alongside the flashbangs. Pistols looking to try and do things once again. However, the Molotovs will hold them back. Nice shot from Bondik. Second kill at least. AK will be retrieved from Hampus. There's so many players here. The bomb is dropped on the site, which Zeus seems to be well aware of. And there's a flank too.
Yep, Edward mops this up. In with the first, follows up with the second. Team Ukraine going to tie things up now, 5-5. The buy can come in for GODSENT now. This is their shot to maintain their lead over Team Ukraine. Look at how much money is starting to build up here for that CT side. $8,000 on Simple. That's terrifying on its own, and that's ignoring Edward being just behind him on 7,000. Bondik with 5. And you look over at GODSENT, they've got nothing.
Looking somewhat like what we saw from Space Soldiers earlier. An early 5-round lead. Instantly 5 rounds come back. And Ukraine now the ones in the driver's seat once again. This time, they're taking that gamble to put 3 players over towards the B site. They will set that AWP. Forgot to speak for a second. But in the meantime, we have seen short control go the way of the T side. And this could be a worry, because there are only 2 players here. There's nobody on Arch side. Once Edward has been set up, they're going to start rotating players back over towards A, just to make sure there isn't any chance for a wraparound. And in fact, it is going to be Simple. This is what I wanted to see earlier in the game, just him controlling Banana. Once more, we are going to see this smoke set up towards the A site. Haven't dedicated themselves just yet, but with Hampus leading the charge around Arch, Markelov is going to peek back him, but he loses his life. Advantage now to the T side as they now push into short. Another kill goes down. As leaving just 2, Edward would have to do something pretty big and pretty fast. Otherwise, I don't feel like Simple will be rotating in.
Yeah, going to see if Simple can find them anything. If not, you imagine the save will come through. Time ticking down here. Nothing being presented by the Swedes. And with that should be the call to save. Although, Hampus could have just given them a reason to stick around that much longer. Time now ticks too low. Edward going to go ahead and make things costly. Drops himself a second. This fight coming in from Doppelin doesn't actually catch Simple off guard. So GODSENT going to go ahead and take the lead, 6-5. Maintain their position at the front, at least for the time being in this map. There's still so much money here for Team Ukraine. The AWP carried forward along with the rifle on Edward means that money is hardly even really affected by that round, all things considered. It can still afford to buy up into the next as well.
Yeah, and the amount of damage that was done there right at the end really was worth sticking around for. So Ukraine looking to try and reset once again. Early nades will be thrown down, but not really doing too much. And the boost is going to be caught out. Freddy B through the smoke reduces Markelov to dust and leaves Edward to try and defend this alone. Nobody rotating yet, though. And the T's aren't planning on pushing just yet either. Still, Edward has a decent amount of utility, so he can slow down any push which is attempted by GODSENT. Well, slow down and stop. 2 very different words. Simple going to be left watching middle as the push now does come in. Edward will have to do his job nigh on perfectly as GODSENT are coming.
Pushing in. Edward holds it close, getting a walking in with his crosshair. Hampus The first man in is ready to get the trade. Now Zeus takes up the position of his fallen comrade. In with the first, making a second. That was nice. Wants to get a little bit more. Bondik's the man to get it done. Team Ukraine straight back into this 6-6. Look to keep things close.
Yeah, very nice work from Zeus there through the smoke, and Bondik to clean it up in the end. The smoke, as I said, it was sort of Edward's utility that really just holds on in that round, because for a good 30, 40 seconds, he was the only man anywhere near the site, and the Swedes have clearly started to take the hint. They lose 5 rounds in a row and manage a single, and now have the sort of decision to make of, are they going to force into this one? Or is it just going to be the eco to try and break back in the next? Either way, CT side looking like they definitely are in the driver's seat, even though the score currently says the same, 6-6. I feel like, although they lost the initial rounds, Ukraine are going to be feeling pretty confident in this scenario going forward. Of course, Zeus will be vocal as ever. And it is going to be a force in. Freddie B still with a little bit of extra money, so maybe able to drop an AWP when the buy eventually does come in. But because they forced, it's likely that it will be the last round of the half where we finally see GODSENT get back into this one. Unless, of course, they can do something here and now. Well, Freddie B, he's going straight up Banana. He's taken a lot of map control very early on. Simple's going to be towards the back of side with the AWP. Not something we've seen so far in this map. A little bit of a change. Markelov, for that reason, will be holding over towards Arch. And it is just going to be a push up towards the smoke. Edward likely to have a lot of work to do in just a second as they do look to peek. The push comes through. He will go down. Simple now has to do it alone. He manages a first, misses the second fleek, and it's being wrapped on as well. Somehow, he hasn't been cleared out of position. The Molotov actually saving him instead, and now Markelov pounces, doubles his kills as well. And it will be Ukraine to take that 7-6. I don't really know how Simple survives in that scenario. I think it was maybe even a T-side molly that stops them being able to wrap onto his position.
Well, very good at overstaying as well. Come is Simple there inside of the site. It's going to secure Team Ukraine a 7th round here. They take the lead, Tom.
He's 13-4 as well.
Simple's feeling it right now. And one of the men who was early on for GODSENT, Twist, in this map at least, has slowing down in these last few rounds. Going to try rushing mid. That nade does damage. And there's a few more to follow already. They're able to pick up Zeus. Now as they go barreling on up towards the top of mid. Just going to get smoked off. That's short. The rest of the gang try to push out into middle. Bondik's there. Just 2 players left. It's Pit and Twist. 2 versus 4. Twist going to be able to get one with a D. Pith goes down. That's the bomb drop. Twist now 1v3. Markelov pads his stats out much more. Team Ukraine going to go 8-6. Last round of the half coming up next. And the buy can come in for GODSENT.
It has been a pretty decent half for Ukraine. And I think this is the first map where we actually have seen Simple really performing. He's had a few rounds or two in the previous, but he definitely hasn't been that standout performer that we expect to see. Well, from the guy who probably is the best player at the whole tournament, in all honesty. That's probably one of the reasons they are here right now. Simple spots Hampus, but Hampus takes his head clean off. He won't play a further part in this round. Zeus with a nice trade, however, will mean that GODSENT don't keep that man advantage for long. T-side, in the meantime, have managed to grab themselves some maps control and will rely heavily on Edward once again. He always seems to be playing such a pivotal role for Team Ukraine. Holding on to the majority of A on overpass. And here, mainly being the man to try and control Banana, allowing for those earlier rotations because he is so reliable, especially with that utility. However, the mid-push will be the aim here. Molotov does force out one. Edward finds another, and Markelov will just about survive on the edge of the flames. Freddie B, oh, they line up. Actually, I don't think Bondik spotted the second player, but caught in mid. Edward will push out, and it will be Ukraine to take the half in a 9-6 fashion. And they were 5-0 down.
Yeah, they're going to get 9 out of a possible 10 rounds after falling 5 down in the early stages. 9-6 Arsenal, nothing that they can be too disappointed with here. Team Ukraine looking good. It's been a bit of a resurgence from one man in particular. That man is Simple. Stop having to rely on Edward as much to be the man to actually open things up. And now as we get ready to head into this second half, just a question of can that form continue?
Yeah, it normally is a lot more difficult for a T-side AWPer as well. We didn't really see one over on the other side of things for GODSENT, so be interested to see if Twist is going to be heading up that CT side. Of course, they have been one to bring in a double AWP on a couple of maps, so maybe Doppler will retrieve one at some point, although I don't really expect to see 2 AWPs unless things are going catastrophically wrong. Of course, a pistol round win for GODSENT could be the difference between them just evening things straight up, being on that favored side at a 9-9 scoreline and having all of that extra utility as well. So difference could become 6 rounds or be reduced to 0. Obviously, as said in the previous map, we did see both teams going very backwards and forwards with these force buy pistol rounds, and what would normally be just considered conversion rounds for the team that wins the pistol ended up becoming so crucial in the way the game was played. But in just a moment, we are going to be going into what, unless it goes to OT, of course, is the final half of this LAN event.
Yeah, of course. It's been 4 days here in Barcelona. We've seen, I don't know how many games to be exact, but
if you could recall,
yeah, just off the top of my head, that would be impressive. But it all culminates down to this moment here. This is the last half of the last map in this best of 3 series to decide who wins out this event. The $40,000 prize pool that goes, prize money for first place that goes with it, and of course gets the best seeding at the main event. There's a good bit on the line for these teams. Twist going to be making his way down through mid early on. We'll be waiting in the cubby. Peeks on out, that's the bomb drop. Good start from Twist. Keeps on pushing in. Zeus tries to shut him down, won't be able to do so because he starts to push on down, but does decide against it now. Bondik pounces out over here on Banana. Beth left here to hold mid, going to get rid of Edward. More players come his way, and he's going to get tagged down to 14 HP. That's the sign for him to fall back.
What the CT side are doing at the moment, or at least what Ukraine don't know, is that there are currently 2 players just sat at the back of this B site. Now we are going to see Pith actually looking to try and re-aggress, find some info, and Zeus takes him down as well. This leaves the A site completely clear. It's likely that GODSENT may just look to try and gamble here and hope that they come pushing in towards B. The problem is we're slowly seeing the push from Hampus, which is going to find out this is not the case. Markelov clearing out these apps. There's absolutely nobody here over on this A side of the map. At least they do have a kit and a smoke. That's something that will at least be able to speed things up in their retake, but Team Ukraine firmly with an advantage going into this pistol.
Yeah, bomb plug gonna go down. GODSENT starting this retake. Hampus has the defuse kit. They have a little bit longer to play with as a result. Bomb ticking down. Bondik will be waiting in pit. Sneaking up short. Bondik spots Disco Doppler. Hampus peeking into the site. Bondik remains hidden. Now they go charging in. Disco Doppler opens up with 2. It all falls to Bondik. 1v1. Time ticking down. Disco Doppler's going to do it. 3 frags for him. Grabs the kit as well. And there's just enough time left for that defuse. It's going to be GODSENT to win themselves a 7th round and the pistol in the second half. A quick 3K there from Disco Doppler to get that one under their belts. A fantastic start here for the Swedes. And of course, not the Swedish roster I don't think that many people would have imagined in the grand final.
I genuinely don't know how they managed to do that. Like, everything there was set up for Ukraine. They had 3 men in an after-plant position, and the time was pretty damn low as well. But GODSENT still managed to take the round. We are going to see a force buy, though. They're going to risk it on Team Ukraine. 4 CZs and MP7. We've seen them do much more with much less. However, the CT side as well have invested heavily into utility. Only 2 rifles actually in play. Disco Doppler, of course, fielding one of them with the amount of kills he was able to get in the previous round. This is a risk for Team Ukraine. If they had saved, of course, we would have seen AK-47s coming in the next round after the bomb plant. However, they now give the chance back to GODSENT. If they can win these follow-up rounds to bring things back to an even scoreline before a bye will be plausible for Ukraine. Pretty B. Still just jump spotting. He's the only man on this B side at the moment, and there isn't really any inkling that Team Ukraine are going to be heading over towards A. You can see that Hampus is a little bit hesitant, but that's going to be the moment where Freddy just goes, okay, come back. I'm throwing down this Molotov. Let's just make sure that we do have some level of defense here. Even a sort of hesitation from another teammate, and well, they're going to go pushing in. Hampus will be able to burn one alive. The rest of the players sort of caught out here. And they've only got 20 seconds to try and go for this. The CT side have decided, okay, we don't know where they're going, so we're just going to split ourselves into a 2-2, leaving 1 player per site. And Pip up close already takes 1 second, looking for the third. Bondik will eventually trade, but he has no time to really do anything else. Runs into the site. Doppler will close it down, and the force buy has failed for Team Ukraine. They will have to save in this next one, and that means that we're likely to see an even scoreline.
Yeah, this is the shot for GODSENT to equalize things out, and you imagine it will come through. Very little invested here for Team Ukraine. Markelov and Simple, they're the 2 with upgraded pistols. There's also a nade on Markelov. Curious where he is going to go ahead and try and put that. Looks like it's straight down Banana. Lands actually inside of Hampus as he gets tagged down to 51 HP. Gonna lose Freddy B. Hampus still peeking into this as players pushing into him. Has to be cautious he doesn't go down here. 3 HP now, trapped. Twist going to come in at just the right time. That nade does good damage. Hampus is going to get left to fend for himself. Does go down to Markelov. Well, they're going to do good damage out of pit as well as he gets caught sleeping.
We'll hit the fadeaway shot. They are going to have Edward handed the MP7. Only 1 man actually over towards the side. A bomb plant would be quite a big bonus for Team Ukraine. However, I think they've assumed after the amount of noise that was made that there will be a rotation over towards the B site. Instead, Disco Doppler is perfectly placed. Can't really expect him to go down in this scenario. Does get dinged up. Markelov has absolutely nothing to play with other than his Glock. He needs an instant headshot, and well, there you go. 3 players dropped. Still a relatively successful round, but at least the equalization will come in. GODSENT, they are now back on level pegging when the first proper buy comes in for Team Ukraine.
That's going to be a pause called in. Tactical pause for Team Ukraine. Tom scoreline has run 9-9. We're all tied up in map number 3. It looks like this could be one that goes the distance. If you're Team Ukraine heading into this first rifle round, what do you think the most important thing is? We kind of stressed early on how that AWP was quite essential on the CT side for them. Heading into the T side, do you think we're going to see that brought out as much? Do you think that could be something that...
I think if anybody was going to bring out, it would be someone like Simple, because we do see a lot of sort of aggressive AWPing picks going for him. So I think that he could definitely be someone to bring out. I find it quite interesting they have gone for a tactical pause going into your first rifle round. It's normally you take a tactical pause to sort of change something that you've already witnessed as wrong, but they haven't actually had the rifles yet. So I imagine that Zeus has something planned for this round, and it's interesting to see they've actually got 2 SMGs going into this one. So they've clearly got something in their locker, decent amount of extra utility. Of course, the CT side have a lot for themselves, and that is why we can see them now just take complete control of Banana. However, This is going to be a fast play, and this is a little bit worrying. Pith up above will be able to take the first rotation in as Markelov looks to try and do work here, but Twist also with the AWP, and whatever the plan was, doesn't look like it's working. Rotation will be quick from the remaining players. Simple has to pull off something ludicrous. Will wait for Hampus and takes him down. Multiple players around this area. They almost line up for Bondik, unfortunately. For him at least. Pith will get his third kill of the round, and now Simple is left in a horrible situation. Now, we know this man can make incredible plays. He's got a minute to try and make one here.
Yeah, it's Twist in the pit that's going to make things so tricky. Flank coming in as well from Pit, shuts him down, and that is going to be GODSENT to take the lead, 10-9. They overtake Team Ukraine. Damage done to this T-side economy as well means that buying into this round does become problematic. You'd imagine that means that there is going to be an 11th round looming for GODSENT here. A chance for them to start to pull ahead early on.
Yeah, double AWP will actually come in on this CT side, so I was questioning whether it would. I didn't think it would, but clearly you do want to have one on either side of the map. It's again going to be this three-man stack over towards Banana. We're yet to really see Ukraine properly rush up Banana, so I think it's more just GODSENT saying, okay, it has to happen eventually. Flashbang going to go over the top. Now there are multiple players here, and Zeus is going to start things off. And now they're actually going to look to just try and benefit off of this. Doppelin, he has his AWP, but actually going to use the P250 to get one. The flashbang will leave them blind, but Simple takes him down, leaving Freddy B alone to try and defend this site. Already his position has been worked out, and he's missing an awful lot of shots. Markelov will take his head off and now leave two to try and save this round.
Yeah, seemingly from nowhere, Team Ukraine, they are emerged victorious here somehow. They've made it work. You can see Pith is not too keen on moving off of this bomb site. Twist will be holding CT, and that's going to be the equalizer found for Team Ukraine, 10-10. Simple gets himself an AWP. They carry forward a rifle from Markelov as well.
The extra money saved should help GODSENT quite a bit. The problem will be is if they really do want to continue it in a double AWP setup, it will be very costly to buy back into this one. Of course, Ukraine were actually just saving money here, so this has been a huge boost to their economy. A free AWP picked up, so we're wondering if it would come in. It is, but mainly because they've saved it, not because of any other reason just yet. Of course, those sort of rounds, it did seem like the setup there from the Swedes was the right call. They were expecting eventually that B push to come in. The problem was the aggression was a little bit much, and actually I was wondering if they could have a double AWP setup. The fact is they can't even afford to have a weapon on every single player. Hampus is down to just a CZ. They will go back to the norm of two players over towards Banana, and Hampus, or at least being the man to have a pistol, will have enough to just spend the money on utility. Try and look to slow down any aggression. Pith peeking into apartments, takes a nasty tag down to just 11 HP. And Freddy's actually been tagged himself, so definitely not the best start to this round for the Swedes.
Not one bit. Team Ukraine, they got full run of this area over in mid. Twist, the only man who's actually looking all too healthy out here. This bomb site is going to be sent reeling back. Team Ukraine, they take control of the top and middle as the smoke falls down along. Haven't committed to that just yet. The bomb's dropped very passively all the way back towards T-Spawn. Now they go back for that. Likely going to look to join up with Markelov here on Banana as Zeus and Bondik peel away from A. They've kept the rotations from coming through early. They've meant that both of these players are trapped over in the pit. That means the rotation is going to take some time to come through. It's Hampus here with a CZ. Freddy B to try and hold off this B bomb site. Freddy B gets nothing done. They go down. It's Twist and CT who has to try and make a massive difference here. The bomb's been allowed into the site. Simple holds the cross. Smoke rains in. An advantage favor of Team Ukraine. At this point, GODSENT might be thinking about saving. 2 kits up, but that's it for them. No utility. Save call comes in. They're going to go ahead and form a hasty retreat. As Team Ukraine, they do manage to take the lead.
Yeah, right back on the horse for Ukraine. And again, it seems to be that B site hold, which is just that little bit weaker. Mainly because Pith was actually doing a great work over towards A. Either way, 4 players survive for the T side. They will be able to build themselves up even more cash. But at least GODSENT do manage to save on 3 players. So I'm interested to see the amount of money. It's not going to be great, but they could at least drop a FAMAS or 2. Instead, by the looks of things, they're just going to go for some pistols, because that will allow them to actually get an investment in the next round if things do go wrong. They still have Twist with that AWP, who is definitely a man who could take rounds into his own hands. And Pith as well, just moments ago, managed to get a 4K over on the A site, so it's not going to be easy by any stretch. The problem is now Ukraine have started to build up quite a lot of money. Obviously, Simple was already saving for that AWP and has 8,000 when given it for free. Twist. Well, normally you do have an AWP more setup than this, but he is just going to be left to try and defend this B site alone. A little bit of aggression into the apartments, which could net a frag, but already it's going to be a nice start from Edward. Finds a second. Disco will at least trade one back, but they're not going to allow him to retrieve this rifle. And the stack has pretty much been decimated. Only 1 player remains in the form of Disco Doppelin. And he is going to have a lot of players coming his way. He gets the first, but no second to be had. And I'm imagining Twist is just going to opt to save this AWP. I think he'd have to be a little bit mental to try anything else.
Team Ukraine on to a 12th round, Tom. Going to be 12-10. Now, as we look to the future for GODSENT, that money starts to get whittled down. They save the AWP on Twist. Team Ukraine, they're very much the team in the driving seat right now. Expecting perhaps a bit of a change of pace coming in from GODSENT. Might see Twist try and open it up with a pick down through mid or Banana. Always a big fan of seeing you play 3 men over towards Banana early on, have the AWP peek in, set up position there, and then you can play with 4 players over on 8.
Well, this round they even did it without the setup. It just didn't seem to matter, especially versus the pistols. Edward manages to get 2 very quick kills, and the stack actually just gets isolated so quickly that Disco is left to try and just do everything on his own. Either way, Ukraine now 4 rounds from taking this cash prize home, taking that #1 seed, going into the $1.5 million China finals, which will be over next year, but GODSENT will still stand in their way. They've gone heavy on utility once again. Twist has managed to save that AWP for a couple of rounds. Molotovs, HEs thrown in, but not actually doing any damage, and Hampus is just going to go running through, trying to do damage instead. He just throws his life away. Not the start that GODSENT were looking for. However, Twist trades one back. Another support from Freddy will hit the headshot. Quickly, this swings into the control of the Swedish side.
Yeah, this is where they're desperate to try and find an equalizer. Edward sneaking on up long, has support from Bondik. Well played by GODSENT down on Banana to find this man advantage early on. Now that they've got it, there's a minute left for Team Ukraine. Plenty of time. They go ahead and try and make their way in towards the A-bomb site. GODSENT have 2 players here grouped up. It's going to be holding from the cubby. Goes ahead and gets shut down. Now Disco Doppelin tries to make a stand. Has to buy time here. And he'll go down as well. Freddy B and Twist, the 2 players that were over at B, left to try and retake the site. 2 versus 3. Bomb ticking down and a lengthy rotate ahead of them. 1 flash in the retake. It will be a save called in. And Team Ukraine, they're going to now reach round number 13. 2 away from map and series point. And of course, finishing first at this whole event. $40,000 in prize money. And first seed at the $1.5 million main event next year.
We'll have 4 rounds in a row now for the T side. And that's a ridiculous amount of cash for Simple, who still sits at the top of that board. GODSENT. They are going to save that AWP once again. I think that's now been 4 or 5 rounds in a row that AWP has just been kept by Twist. But you have to wonder whether that means he should be trying to make a bit more of a play with it. He does manage to get 1 kill over towards Banana. And again, he is going to have to try and be this Catalyst man. He's 18 and 13 at the moment. Simple's currently 16 and 9. It has been the AWPers sort of make the difference here already. Going to see some aggression coming out over towards that B side of the map. The problem is, don't really have too much to play with. There's actually going to be Freddie B starting things off. Does manage to take down Markelov. Of course, the 2 players currently with weapons could make the difference, but Pith as well. Second round in a row, one of the players on GODSENT has attempted to try and push through a Molotov. Hasn't worked out either time.
Twist goes down for GODSENT again, picked apart 1 by 1. Edward tries to continue soaring forward. Disco Doppler has to go ahead and get away. And that's prompted the rotation in from Hampus. That now leaves Freddie B alone here inside of the B bomb site. There's still a minute left for Team Ukraine. They are taking things slowly. Now going to rotate back around and go ahead and grab this bomb. And it's all eyes on Freddie B. Been a bit of a star player for GODSENT throughout this event. Has fallen silent across a few of these maps. Now they need him to step up more than ever, as he resides inside this B-bomb site alone. Flash buys time. Simple gonna start to make his way in. Nades do damage. Simple finds it. Bondit gonna get rid of Hampus. Disco Doppler left alive with the AWP, and that AWP seems to be cursed, Tom.
No matter where that AWP is, there will not be the bomb going down. I'm not sure how this AWP has managed to survive this many rounds in a row. We'll see if it does continue that way, as the T's are on the hunt. But it is a string of rounds that GODSENT seem unable to stop. Ukraine getting ever closer. Doppler actually walking into the open here. Steps up, and that will be able to finally remove that AWP. A tactical pause called from GODSENT, but you do have to wonder if it is too little too late.
I mean, 14-10, Tom. They've certainly left it down on the wire for them to start to try and figure out what exactly is amiss. They've got rid of the cursed orb. That's one thing to look at here. Will that be the answer to their problems? Only time will tell. It's been a real issue for them. Even when they've had 4 players within their sight, it's taken 1 or 2 players from Team Ukraine just to pull it apart and actually just lay waste to any defense that they can lock down. Another thing that they've been very vulnerable to is this slow play in this map from Zeus is spot on. He puts a lot of pressure on over A. They're actually able to find the opening frag a lot of the time, and then you can kind of see the sweat start to develop for the GODSENT side. They have to try and figure out where to hedge their bets. Just then we saw 1 man trapped inside the B-bomb site while the others stacked over at A, and bomb hadn't even left T-spawn yet.
Here we go. Double AWP setup once more. This time
Double
it's actually Freddie B. Different AWPer, different AWP. Simple will, of course, have his on the other side of things, and Twist looking to try and go for these more aggressive, audacious plays. You wanted 3 players on Banana, Harry? Well, you've got it. Freddie B is looking for that pick, but they're actually going to fall back fairly early. Not look to take the fight versus the T side. Does leave this A site hold fairly vulnerable, though Edward may be walking in to the angle held by Twist just round the corner, but he still rounds it. Finds that opener. He's been so good at doing this so far. Peek out from Hampus is nicked by the AWP of Simple, and another kill comes in. Freddie B looking like he may about to be overwhelmed. But instead, the T side are just going to fall back. Simple actually remains. He's the one with the bomb. Freddie B is going to go hunting for information. You don't want to be pushing into this crosshair, Freddie. It's probably going to lead to death, exactly as it will, leaving Disco now on the site, having to make a massive play.
They're going to start to push in. The flash is perfect. Markelov gets rid of Disco Doppler, and now it's Pith left 1v5. This man's out on the balcony. taking it all in as the bomb goes down over on B. This round will go the way of Team Ukraine. All he can do is sit back and elect to save. Must feel so useless in a situation like this. All your teammates fall over at B. And there is physically nothing you can do. Now looks to try and hold on to the M4. It's going to be map and series point here in the grand final for Team Ukraine. Pit doesn't even get away with the M4. 15-10, 5 rounds consecutively will be required for GODSENT to take this through to overtime. And I mean, it was a convincing victory for them on Mirage. A hard-fought battle on Overpass that they couldn't quite edge out. And this one now just looks to be slipping through their fingers. Fatigue. Just the sheer amount of Counter-Strike that's been played today could definitely get to a man. And Team Ukraine, they've got experience under their belt. They know what they're doing. It's going to be the rush down through mid from Twist and the rest of the boys. And in they go. Zeus hits the deck. Twist going to do damage. This play is working out for them right now. As Markelov and Zeus, they've both fallen. Oh, Freddie B, hate to see it. Going to go ahead and burn out Twist. Kind of Twist's fault there. Kind of ran into the fire and flames. And that's now actually given Bondic away to pull this back into a 3-on-3. The A-bomb site's left wide open right now. Pith going to be holding off Banana all on his lonesome. And imagine if this round were to elude the Swedes now. You wouldn't be able to shake the feeling that it all comes down to that run through the Molotov. Pith stands here alone. A sheet of plywood. His only friend in this situation. Simple. Gonna wait towards Banana. Throws in that one smoke for B, but the real site hit about to come through is going to be out on the A-bomb site. This push from Pith gets him the information that no one is here. The rotations can come in from Freddie B. Hampus, he has to buy time. There's 34 seconds left and it's ticking down. And now it all falls to one man inside of A. Pith is flanking round from behind. Rotations coming in from Freddie B. Hampus has to run down that clock. He gets caught looking the wrong way. Out comes Freddie B. He's going to shut down too. And now there's 17 seconds here. Bondic going to go on in. He grabs himself the bomb. Pith should be in a perfect position to shut this one down. In he comes. And Pith's going to do it. Defuse comes on in. GODSENT, they found a lifeline, Tom. 11-15 as the defuse comes in.
Yeah, the CT sides from GODSENT once again seem to come down to just aggressive plays, taking the fight to the T's instead of waiting back for them to push. And although they do actually end up just trading back evenly in the end, it is that push in from Freddie B which does save them in that scenario. He has been playing very well so far and looking to try and continue that. Bondic, of course, someone currently at the top of the board, but it doesn't seem to be a weak component over on Team Ukraine, and they're still going to have the better buy going into this next round. A bit of aggression coming out from the CT side, decent amount of utility available, and even go for a bit of a boost this time, but Simple will remove the man below. Disco Doppler falls very early in this round, and it's unlike the last with the aggression from GODSENT. This time, they are punished.
Yeah, I've lost Disco Doppler early on now for Team Ukraine. They're taking that man advantage. Pith and Twist going to be sat down up in apartments. Now's not the time to get caught sitting around. Pith's able to trade one back, but now he finds himself wrapped down into Pit. Freddie B, it's all eyes on him. Hampus rotating in, and Freddie B has to step up massively. Instead, he'll step down, and it's Team Ukraine. They get that bomb down, 3v1. It's all eyes on Hampus. He's going to flash himself through, damage done, and Bondic's going to finish him off. Team Ukraine, they are going to do it. The mixed team makes it work here in Barcelona. They win $40,000, Tom. They win the seeding at the $1.5 million main event next year. And most importantly, they show that they can win out over pre-made teams that actually come to this with all the strats, all the tactics under their belt. They get it done on sheer skill alone.
Well, yeah, that's always been one of the talking points about this tournament, that you can just enter as your team pretty much if you are one of one nation. And people have always wondered, can you come here as a mix of your country, do it for your country? And I think out of all the teams, the one with the most passion has definitely won today. You can hear them all the way through this tournament screaming their heads off, and it has been an absolute pleasure to watch, it has to be said. Big congratulations to Team Ukraine. As said, they will, well, both of these teams will be heading off to China to look to challenge for that $1.5 million next year. And I have to say, I'm excited to see what these guys can do.
Yeah, and it's an even bigger deal, I think, for Team Ukraine, because when you look at a lot of these guys coming from Na'Vi, they've looked a little bit deflated this year. They haven't looked themselves. They managed to win this out now, just showing that their individual skill is definitely up there. And that's going to be a nice confidence boost if there ever were one. Team Ukraine, they've done it. They've gone and won this one out. It took 3 maps, but they were able to get there in the end. And it was a decisive victory in that second half.
Yeah, no, I have to say that I was actually very impressed with a lot of what we saw on the T side. I think the slow, methodical play didn't work so well in sort of the previous maps, or at least on the first map, where they sort of got overrun. But when it got down to Overpass, when it got down to Inferno, and they had that more sort of tactical basis, that was where Ukraine really came alive. That was where sort of in the last map we saw Simple step up. But I have to say, for me, throughout this sort of last series, Edward was just unbelievable. Yeah. So many integral entry kills, so many integral, like, aggressive plays on the CT sides as well that made a massive difference. And, well, very well played by him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like they had the easiest journey through this. They, of course, victories over Big. Walla lost the, Spanish team, the guys on home turf. Win over Fnatic as well in the semis, and then they managed to win it out in the grand final. You could not have asked for anything better than that.
Either way, I think we are going to be heading off to a quick break, but we will have our awards ceremony coming up, obviously crowning Team Ukraine. And I feel like those guys are going to have some stuff to say, so make sure you come back.